From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 25th, 2018. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met today with U.S. President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Trump told the Prime Minister that the moving of the American embassy to Jerusalem was way ahead of schedule, saying we anticipate a small version of the embassy working sometime next year. The president also said that after the U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, the Jerusalem issue was, quote, off the table, and that Palestinians needed to sit down for peace talks with Israel or they could face more cuts in aid from the U.S. Trump also referenced a U.S. peace plan that he said could be very good for the Palestinians, but that they needed to show respect, referring there to the PA's refusal to meet with U.S. Vice President Mike Pence when he visited the region last week.
We took Jerusalem off the table, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. They never got past Jerusalem. We took it off the table. We don't have to talk about it anymore. You won 1 point, and you'll give up some points later on the negotiation, if it ever takes place. I don't know that it ever will take place. But they have to respect the process also, and they have to respect the fact that the U.S. has given tremendous support to them over the years in terms of monetary support and other support. So we'll see what happens with the peace process, but respect has to be shown to the U.S., or we're just not going any further.
And Netanyahu spoke at the forum today in conversation with CNN's Fareed Zakaria, addressing the prospects for peace. Netanyahu said Israel's position was the same as that of the U.S. and that it was time for PA President Mahmoud Abbas to come back to the table. Netanyahu told Zakaria, referring to the Palestinians, "You want peace, get your act together, see what the U.S. offers, and get in the room and negotiate." Also speaking at the forum in Davos today was Jordan's King Abdullah II, who said that despite the Jerusalem recognition by the United States, the U.S. had to be a part of the restart of peace talks. Abdullah told the forum, "We cannot have a peace process or peace solution without the role of the United States." Abdullah also said the Jerusalem issue was a complication and that he was skeptical about a U.S. peace plan, but that judgment should be reserved until that plan is revealed. And U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley addressed the UN Security Council today, where she stressed the U.S. commitment to peace, but she told the Council, "We will not chase after a Palestinian leadership that lacks what is needed to achieve peace," reprimanding Abbas for rejecting the U.S. role in peace talks and also for his remarks against Israel last week to the PLO. Haley said hate-filled speeches and end runs around negotiations take us nowhere, adding that real peace requires leaders who are willing to step forward, acknowledge hard truths, and make compromises. Meanwhile, U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt spoke with several heads of mission of the European Union to the Palestinian Authority today about peace prospects. Greenblatt, who arrived in Israel yesterday, wrote on his Twitter account that at the right time, we will work together with all our friends and allies in Europe and beyond to advance our goal of peace, adding that the road we travel to lasting peace requires the efforts and support of many. And Greenblatt also met today with the families of the 2 Israeli soldiers whose remains are being held by Hamas, Hadar Golden and Oron Shaul, and with the families of 2 Israeli citizens also being held by the terror group in Gaza, Avira Mengistu and Hisham al-Sayed. Greenblatt called Hamas's actions reprehensible, writing that these families are suffering unbearable pain as a result of the shameful, despicable acts of Hamas. All Israelis, he said, must be returned. Well, Israel's Ministry of the Diaspora has launched a new app for detecting online anti-Semitic content. ACMs stands for Anti-Semitism Cyber Monitoring System and is thought to be the most advanced technology of its kind, tracking anti-Semitic posts on social media and detecting how and where they are being shared. Jewish stage, film, and TV actress Connie Sawyer has died at the age of 105. Sawyer, born Rosie Cohen, was considered the oldest working actress in Hollywood and oldest member of the Screen Actors Guild and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. She had over 140 acting credits, from TV's The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Hawaii Five-0 to Seinfeld and The Office, and such films as When Harry Met Sally. She died Monday at her home at the Motion Picture and Television Fund's retirement community in Woodland Hills, California.
And it's over 50 years later, and we are still married.
And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, January the 25th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study with Rabbi Mordechai Becker. At 7:30, a look at creating art from Torah. At 8, Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz speaks at Columbia with the group Students Supporting Israel. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Director of the ZOA Center for Law and Justice, Susan Touchman, on L'chaim. At 10, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs and NYU Professor Jonathan Haidt talk about moral dilemmas in the age of social media. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's In the News with former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Dani Ayalon, who speaks about the controversial plans that Israel has to deport African workers back to their home countries. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 25th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.